Living in a small town, there's a lot of monotony in the events that happen. To be able to understand the different contexts, passages, or even sentences in a modern book, it's like taking a breath of new life.
They take you to various places you've never been to, you've never seen.
It doesn't only just sharpen your imagination.
Reading modern books, I can expand my horizons through the stories of other people.
And we, as readers, our knowledge is not only widened, but we now acknowledge the fact that we now have a stand for something. And that's just the greatest feeling ever. To be able to change for yourself, to be able to change for the world, just because of a simple plain text.
The roots of the word dystopia came from ancient Greek syllables dys and topia, which literally mean bad and place. This type of literature commonly shows a dark and unfavorable society characterized by poverty, oppression, or abuse of power, which are often used in science fiction and speculative fiction genres. Novelists use the text to interrogate the idyllic posture of the pre-20th century utopianism. This is due to certain events in the contemporary world, including both cold and violent wars, revolutions or totalitarianism, like Hitler's Germany and Stalin's Russia. In general, dystopia means a futuristic imagined universe in which oppressive societal control and the illusion of a perfect society are maintained through corporate, bureaucratic, technological, moral, or totalitarian control. Dystopias, through an exaggerated worst-case scenario, make a criticism about the current trend, societal norm, or political system. Dystopian literature has usually been a relatively popular medium among people of all ages during the greatest part of the 20th century. During the advent of the 21st century, this began to change. However, when an increasing amount of dystopian fiction aimed at young adults, such as M.T. Anderson's Freed from 2002, Julie Bertania's Exodus from 2002, Meg Rossoff's How I Live Now from 2004, Scott Westerfeld's Uglies from 2005, and many more. The concept of dystopian literature is to not only entertain readers, but to let them understand the ideas and characteristics of a dystopian society. These characteristics are shown through our own society, but at a more drastic level. The reader gains more knowledge by finding ways in which the topics the author writes about is relevant to today's society. This style of writing became popular, for it makes readers think of interesting topics that seem realistic yet fictional. The rising popularity of dystopian literature among adolescent audiences is prominent in today's pop culture due to its relevance in young adults' lives, its direct comparisons to current events in today's world, and its originality in relation to other genres. Many studies have been done to determine what young adults are looking for in novels and how the literature affects the reader's enjoyment. Koss and Thiel analyzed young adult literature to find trends, topics, and writing styles. Koss and Thiel were looking for the popular genres, the groups represented, and the content of current young adult literature. One overarching theme in many of the fiction novels was teens finding themselves and dealing with teenage struggles. The literature tends to focus on the complications teens go through in their normal lives. This is a change from literature that used to focus on a large life-changing event. Most of the literature analyzed was written as a first-person narration, which is consistent with previous research on young adult literature. Koss and Thiel found the current trends to be appropriate for today's young adults. The dystopia genre meets teen readers at a critical point of emotional and psychological development. Reading about risky situations provides learning opportunities and intellectual benefits that risk little in the real life. The iconic adolescent search for independence, self-identity, and purpose are typically present in most dystopian novels. In fact, these conflicts are usually exaggerated. Young adults specifically are attracted to the genre because it so perfectly mirrors the experience of the once vibrant and sinister world of middle school and high school. Authors of this genre appreciate writing about these themes due to the following reasons. One is that it contributes to better world building. A dystopian setting offers a literal world of possibilities. Whether your literary world is governed by anarchy, oppression, a disease that forces its inhabitants to live in seclusion, forced pairings, or generalized fear, the dystopian genre allows you more of a creative liberty to multiply the darkest fears buried in the deepest recesses of your mind and bring them to life on paper. Second is that dystopian literature endorses more female protagonists. From Katniss in the Hunger Games to Triss in Divergent, dystopian novels are rife with strong female main characters who make wonderful role models for young women and have more honorable traits for others to emulate, such fearlessness and strength. Third is that books with overly positive and happy content are quite monotonous and dull for today's readers. People nowadays are after tension, suspense, excitement, or even disturbing and ominous themes that awaken their mind and senses, which can all be experienced in reading dystopian literature. Another is that dystopian literature can be a good ground to play with genres. Romance, horror, thriller, and other genres can be stacked upon dystopian themes for a better content. Lastly is that dystopian literature gives off a positive connotation at the end of the story. Heroes rise from oppression, alliances are made, good overcomes the evil. All these themes contribute to a positive moral that will be reflected in the minds of the readers.